It's the battleground for all asset managers. Fees, baby. Fees, fees, fees. We're all about the fees. And here's what's really interesting. Fidelity came out of the gate really early on, 2 weeks ago, 39 basis points. That's pretty low for a specialty ETF. We were thinking it would be in the 70 to 100 basis point range. Grayscale right now, the Grayscale Trust is 250 basis points. We've got Fidelity at 39. Invesco and Galaxy are zero until the first $5 billion in AUM. I believe BlackRock is coming out at 80. So the fee game is going to be an interesting one because they're all the same thing. It's Bitcoin. How much will brand matter, and how much of this will be about fees? Well, first of all, I think we need to get a little chimney. It feels like the papal conclave. We're waiting for the white smoke. We've been waiting for a while, but certainly this is a very hyped event, most talked about event, and I never want to talk about ETFs ever again after this. But look, I don't think this is a sell the news event, and here is why. Let's just talk about flows. I love talking about flows, and flows are really how we figure out how people are trading sentiment. And if we look at what happened last year, in the last week of 2023, $243 million of flows into crypto ETPs, primarily Bitcoin, $2.2 billion for the year last year. It's not stopping. There's demand for Bitcoin. When these new products launch, we've heard there's one issuer that's seeding their fund with $200 million. Rumors now that BlackRock is coming in with $2 billion. All of that leads to buying of Bitcoin. It leads to demand for Bitcoin. So I don't think it's a sell the news event because Bitcoin limited in supply. That's one of the really interesting, unique properties of it.
Nothing. This is a one-of-one situation. We've never seen this much interest from people that don't really know much about ETFs or traditional finance. For that matter, people have become legal experts. I mean, I knew a lot of this stuff from a higher level. I knew some of it, but I've had to get way deeper in the weeds because our clients and just people in general are demanding to understand every step of the process of what's going on here. And it makes sense, really. I mean, people have been trying to launch this thing for 10 years. There's politicians involved. There's deadlines. There's billions of dollars at stake. Like, this is a big deal, and there's a reason there's getting a lot of coverage and interest from both the media and asset allocation perspective.
So once the SEC does approve the Bitcoin ETFs, and that's a when not if kind of question, and we've been deliberating on the when, how do investors figure out which Bitcoin ETF they want to buy? I mean, are we going to have a Super Bowl 2024 full of Bitcoin ETF commercials?
I wouldn't count out Super Bowl commercials for sure. I mean, we've already seen a whole bunch of issuers with their own commercials. I mean, we have Van Eck, Hashdex, Bitwise. Everyone's doing different things to market their own products. And like I said, it tends to be winner take most, not winner take all. So right now we're looking at 11 issuers. I don't know if there's room for 11 different spot Bitcoin ETF products, but there's definitely room for multiple. So some people are only going to care about the fee. They want the cheapest fee. That's how they're going to get exposure. Some are going to care about the brand name. There's undoubtedly going to be advisors out there that just trust BlackRock and that's what they're going to use, or Fidelity, or what have you. Some people are going to stick with Grayscale because they've been using them. Some might want a more crypto-centric offering from somebody like Bitwise or Hashdex or Valkyrie. And then there's people in the middle like Van Eck, and Invesco is partnered with Galaxy. So there's no way to know how this is going to play out. One of the other things I'm focused on is the issue, a bunch of the ETFs out there now, you don't actually see the on-chain address, so you can't see exactly where the Bitcoin is. Maybe some of the bigger issuers aren't going to release those addresses so you can check it yourself to see if the Bitcoin is there. But some of these smaller issuers, I'd be shocked if we don't see a handful of these ETFs just saying, here, you can double check whether or not we have this Bitcoin that we say we have, because that's a huge concern in the Bitcoin world. They think it's going to be paper Bitcoin and not actually have exposure to Bitcoin. But I can pretty much guarantee you some of these filers are going to publish their Bitcoin addresses so anyone and their mother can go on and look to make sure the Bitcoin is actually there when they say it.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patreons. If you're not a part of the Patreons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, we know the banks are the biggest what? I'll let you finish that. And we know it's all about fees, fees, fees. Doesn't matter whether you're on exchanges, the stock market, it doesn't matter. The banks, it's all fees, fees, fees. And remember, because of blockchain and tokenization, these fees are going to be cut out. And that's the reason why we're going to have another banking collapse around the corner. Remember, guys, all these distractions going on, is for the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. Now, guys, if we get this spot Bitcoin ETF approved, we know we're going to pump and dump. You can align all the dates, and we know these dates are selected. And there's been a lot of hype around the spot Bitcoin ETF. 11 issuers, and guys, we know that's going to drop down to about 2 or 3. We've seen this movie before. And then, of course, guys, we have the Fed meeting at the end of the month. And most likely they're not going to raise rates, but we know if they do nothing, the markets are going to pull back. Remember, it's all about the Fed cutting rates because the bond market has already priced in rate cuts. And I have a feeling Jerome Powell is going to turn hawkish. And we have the government shutdown looming January 19th. So, guys, the movie continues. And the only thing you can do is sit back, get your popcorn, and let it play out. We have one for January, the other one in February. This is election year. So if we was to get a shutdown, it wouldn't last long. Guys, we know they want to keep the economy looking decent until the election. And we know we're going to be running into shutdowns in 2025. The reason why is that the United States can no longer spend the type of money it's been spending. Countries have already moved off the United States dollar. The BRICS just keep getting bigger. So we're witnessing the fall of America to Babylon along with the United States world reserve currency and the rise of China along with the emerging markets with that digital yuan backed by that digital SDR. And remember, the crypto teacher wrote about it and told you about it a long time ago because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
All of that has limited runway. What I think now is the problem is that the Fed they have an issue. And so while the market has decided that their rate hiking is over, remember, I continue to say, again, a great consternation, that I think it's more likely that we see a hike than a cut in the first quarter.
Top line number and the allocations, then it's going to be exceedingly difficult, not impossible, but difficult to get a deal done by January 19th. However, if we could get a top line number within a day or two, I think it's entirely possible that we could put something together.
Now, if they can't reach an agreement soon, 20% of government funding will lapse on January 19th. Now, this includes funding covering the Departments of Agriculture, Energy, Veterans Affairs, and Transportation, plus military construction, the FDA, Housing and Urban Development, a lot of stuff. This could really mean that fewer air traffic controllers will be at airports. It means reduced food inspections and delays in grants for farmers, as well as a number of other impacts really across the government. If lawmakers can't come to an agreement, and if they keep funding the government at current spending levels, they'll also trigger a 1% cut across the board. That translates to billions of dollars less, with defense agencies being hit particularly hard. And when I was talking with the congressman yesterday, he said that really, the shutdown is the worst option. The second worst option is that 1% cut. Absolutely no one wants that to happen. But to do that, they're going to actually have to find a way to get these bills passed.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box, provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth
instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, is time to re-educate. Also, if new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.